Hey folks, welcome to Friday the 4th NFP day, Friday the 4th of November 2021. And so what we're looking for today on NFP is a figure of consensus 450,000. I don't really take part in the guessing game anymore. Looking at probably, I don't know, maybe 200,000 given the lethargy of people not really wanting to go back to work. But either which way, we're going to trade what we get on these markets and not what we think we're going to get. So yesterday, what did we see? Well, Governor Bailey from the Bank of England fumbled the ball tremendously in setting the markets up for a rate hike expectation and coming out with no rate hike. Interesting interview with him and Francine Lacroix on Bloomberg. If anyone has the time to check that out, Bailey does not seem to be too fussed about it all. Anyway, what else have we seen? New all-time highs on these equities. From Wednesday's FOMC. The taper was priced in. The market's really not caring about the commitment now from the Fed to commence its sort of dovish tapering of 15,000 or 15 billion in purchases across treasuries and MBS starting in this month. So, the markets are loving it, absolutely loving it. The dollar has appreciated quite a bit now this week after an initial pop lower on the FOMC. And the euro is facing the wrath of that now. But really, the biggest move that we did see yesterday, moving over to these charts, is cable here having an absolute nightmare. So looking out on this daily chart, or there's actually the daily chart on cable. You can see here. If I actually switch out to a weekly, let's see if I can get the weekly up. Here you go. So really on the week. This market is headed and nowhere but south. Imminent now to trade the low of the week of the 27th of September. That's 34.12s. And then below there, just got this little nugget of an area, 33.52s. Should we see further depreciation in cable? I think this last mile, this last push now to the 34.12s is going to be crunchy and grindy. It's not going to be sort of linear in a straight move to there. As markets don't, as much as we would like them to, are not linear in movement. So that's cable. Do I like the longs from 34.12s? No, I don't actually. I'm not a huge fan. I think all right. Yeah, you'll get a nice initial pop. 2, 3, 4 to ones maybe. And then I think kind of next week we should look to put further pressure on that 34.12s to drop below. Big levels there. Looking at oil as well. Massive day actually. Kind of, you do kind of get a bit numb to big ranges when you're looking at oil. While trading oil at any point in time. We're down about I think it was $6. I think was the range high to low yesterday. You can see that here on the bottom mid of your screen on the 60 minutes. High of about 83.38s and low of 78.26s. Just something to note is we have been tracking this area down below here. It may look like I have done this, sort of Sunday or Monday morning refereed this and picked this level because it's the low of yesterday, but actually no. And those of you who are live in this room know that we have been tracking this gap that was opened on NYMEX and WTI on the 7th of August. So that gap has remained as open. See a little bit of a pullback to that and bid on up we went. But now we're back to check that as the low of yesterday. We've taken a bid back up into the 79.81s, pivot being tested this morning, but not able to hold excess into the highs of day in the Asia Pac high as well. Here's your APAC range. You can also see here the gap that was opened in green here has been firmly closed through the Asia Pac trading. But the Asia Pac range given in yellow here. I think generally for me, I think it's more downside for oil. I think we're going to revisit the 78.26s, and I want to hold reserve and hold and reserve my judgment really as to whether we're going to smash this or not. Um, Gun to my head, yes, we will smash this to the downside. But I'm still bullish on crude over the short and medium term. The intraday term, I think I'm bearish for sure. But overall, the trades I do want to be on are on the longs on this contract. I was shorting this yesterday, posting my trades in the room around the 80s level. It's in around there. And taking that down, quite a nice little trade. And I think I actually was long as well. So I think I actually did. Oh no, I posted the long. So I liked working this area. So it was long up here. And then once we saw this rejection of the gap close above, then short as it started to break down. So it easily could have come down to here, found some buyers, and then gotten up again, but it didn't. So that's why I decided to get involved here on the shorts. For me, as I said, short intraday, long on the broader short term look, and medium out term or medium term look on oil. So hopefully that makes some sense. Looking above here, there are some, I think the market under extreme circumstances could easily push to this 74.80s level, which was again this low of the 13th of August 2018 came into play. High of the week, the 6th of January 2020, of course, pre-COVID high, and then also came in as the high of the week, the 28th of June this year. And so I think, if the market were to come down to the 74.80s, I think the sellers are going to have way too much to do there. And I just think oil is just going to be way too cheap below 74.80s. We do have this this moderate wave of an outbreak in China, whether it's a second, third, fourth, fifth wave. I don't know if we can quantify what wave exactly it is, but if that scales up and affects Chinese sort of oil demand, we could easily see ourselves back down at the 65 level easily. But I just don't see that sort of level of wave happening and that sort of demand destruction happening in China. Now that we have vaccines available, and you're looking at China, which is one of the best equipped countries in the world to manage an outbreak and deal with an outbreak. So, all right, moving on to the US equities here. We'll get up the NASDAQ. Having a look here on NASDAQ, we're now through that all-time high put in yesterday, 16,376s, which I've been kind of calling on for the last 30 minutes here. So really nice activity now. New all-time highs in the DAC or in the NASDAQ, new all-time highs in the SPOs, and the Dow. The Dow is really dragging its heels a little bit here, and yeah, I mean, look, I've no problem saying yesterday I was buying the 35,971s, that sort of prior all-time high, and then went for it a second time. Had to scratch that third time, took a full stop on that one. And at that time, equities were pushing quite well to the highs, but it broke down. You can see in tandem here. If I sync you can see the cursor is synced across these charts, right? And so you can see here, just a little detective detail. As the Nasdaq came off its push up, and the SPOOS came off its push up, you can see that sort of that step back in the upside volatility really allowed the Dow to then break down through that 35,971s, and so that's fine. As I was saying this morning to the group, you cannot let one trade hurt you. And I mean, really, I don't take any trade too seriously at all, whether win, lose, or draw. And so that's from a P&L and trade management perspective, you really have to kind of think about that. You cannot let one single trade hurt you or have an adverse effect on your confidence. when you're in these markets. Otherwise, you're not going to survive more than a week, really. Yeah, look, new all-time highs across the board in equities, apart from the Dow right now in the pre-US session. It's NFP day. I'm not too interested. I am long the Nasdaq here, just small enough size, just taking a little bit of a clip out of the market, but nothing spectacular going on. I am interested in getting on a short for a further breakdown on the euro at some point. And oil, I don't. Yeah, I may be convinced into taking a short on a retest of the 79.81s. Dixie, I think it's not going to survive for too long below trend here. I think 94.63s is in the post. And the Dow, I'd like to see the Dow actually get on up here and get in on the party that is these new all-time highs. I think it's feeling a little bit left out from its brethren yesterday. Gold, yeah, have to talk about gold as well. It's funny, gold is holding on the highs while the dollar is also holding on the highs. Here we are in the weekly bars from gold. So it's lo and behold, it has come actually back into this area, this compression pennant we have, and so I think now it is going to want to 50 EMA or not. It's I think the sellers are just getting a little bit of food here. At the 50 EMA, trying to push us back down to pivot and test on the trend that has been key resistance, right? Resistance. Now it should be key support, right? So I think there's some sellers driving from the 50 back down to there about the 1787s, and then you'll probably find those bars picking on up and targeting the other side of here, 1828s or thereabouts. And you got to imagine, well, is that going to be what could cause that to happen? I think you have a really crappy NFP number. You could probably see that happen today. So this is all purely from a technical perspective, but that's what I see on these markets for now. Yeah, all right. I think this last mile and cable is going to be very tricky, not easy. I'd definitely be selling a retest on the APAC low, which is coming in there about 34.84s, and then playing for that trade down. So, all right, that's where I leave you this evening, 4 p.m. GMT. Please do click to subscribe on YouTube. But 4 p.m. GMT, we're going to be doing the first Duggan Capital closing bell. This will be a live, open to everybody chat where we're going to look at the action from the week in these markets, how I traded them, how some of the other guys in the room traded them, and really just a chat about what are the more obvious things, and hopefully this is going to be very helpful to a lot of people who are maybe not having the performance they would like to have with their trading. And it's always interesting to have a good roundup on the week anyway. So looking forward to that. It will be recorded and available in the Duggan Capital website to the traders and pro traders, and so anyone can join that. No money needed, no credit card details needed, nothing like that. Just click on the link in the Twitter and on my Twitter and the Duggan Capital Twitter, and it'll ask you to just register on the Duggan Capital website, and then it'll bring you to the live session. All right, looking forward to that, and looking forward to NFP coming out at that earlier time, 12:30 today, with this clock change on daylight savings time. All right, I'll see you Monday. Have a good one. Cheers.